welcome to the greatest podcast ever. It isn't. I don't know why I just thought of that. Welcome to the greatest podcast ever, the MastoCast, hosted by Master Dan, the monoblog podcast, coming at you every Friday. And yeah, as per usual, hope you're having a marvelous weekend. If you listen to this on the day it comes out, welcome to episode 16. Episode 16. Yeah, it's good to still have some listeners. Just been looking at the analytics and stuff. People are still listening. People are still asking questions and stuff like that. So, you know, it's cool. It's cool that people are still happy enough to listen to this shite. The greatest podcast ever. It isn't, let's be honest. But I'm still happy. Nonetheless, I'm still happy. Hey, well, it's just good. It's very good. It's very good to be chatting to you all. What have I got to chat about? Not a lot, really, apart from probably one of the best albums that's come out and such. And yeah, it's probably the least busy podcast you'll hear. It might be a short one, apart from the album I'm going to talk about pretty damn soon. But anyways, just been playing some Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Really, really love it. Really bloody love it. It's just good to be playing that game again. It's the first time I've played that game in a while. I think I explained to it on the last podcast that I did. Yeah, I played San Andreas when I got it for Christmas I think it was not last year, but the year before. And like, for some reason, my PlayStation 4 wasn't working with San Andreas. Just wouldn't start for some reason, which is really, really weird. And like, once I've finished God of War Ragnarok, I thought, let's try the trilogy again on the PS5, see if it works. And it works. And I got on my save data and everything. And literally, like, near enough every day when I can, I've gone on San Andreas and just been on it for like an hour or two. Just like whizzing through a lot of missions and stuff and causing absolute havoc. It's just so good to be playing it again. Like, every time I play it, I'm having so much fun. I generally think like San Andreas might be the best GTA game. Let me know what you think otherwise. I mean, I absolutely love GTA 5 as well. I think Vice City is awesome as well. But for me, just something about San Andreas, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And I've got in the description of this podcast, whether you listen to it on YouTube or you're listening on Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms, I've copied and pasted a link to a Spotify playlist, which is all of the songs from GTA San Andreas and all the different radio stations and everything. It's literally all of them on there. And I put it in because I generally think like San Andreas has like one of the best soundtracks ever in video game history ever. It's not composed, obviously. They're all licensed songs and everything, but they're all just brilliant. Because the thing is about San Andreas, it's set in the 90s, and the 90s is one of my favorite eras ever for music. Like especially like when you listen to Radio X on not the one hosted by Chris Moyles, the Radio X that's been used on San Andreas. Basically, it's all that really awesome 90s alt rock, metal, grunge, and it's just brilliant. Like, there's stuff like Faith No More in there. There's stuff like God, my mind's gone blank. Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, Ozzy Osbourne, L7, Living Colour, Danzig, Helmet, Personal Jesus. Like, it's such a good radio station. It's brilliant. And there's all the other radio stations as well. Like, I like all the hip hop stuff. Like, you got NWA, you got Dr. Dre, you got a bit of Snoop Dogg, you've got fuck, what they called? How I Could Just Kill a Man. I forgot the fucking name of the band now. Jesus, what the hell am I like? There we go. Cypress Hill. That's what I was on about. There's Ice Cube. There's absolutely all sorts, and there's like a classic rock radio station. There's like Freebird and The Who and everything, and there's what else is there? Fucking hell, there's reggae one as well. There's reggae stuff on here. like from one of the regular radio stations, some dance, some hip hop. It's brilliant. It's just a good one to throw on. So yeah, the playlist is in there. The playlist is in there if you want to have a good listen. GTA San Andreas, just one of the greatest games ever. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant. And yeah, I'll get to some questions. I've got some questions here on the old Instagram. And as per usual, if you want to send questions in, like, just give us a follow on the old Instagram page, the MasterDan92 Instagram page. Everything's in the description. Just go on the link tree. Everything is there. And there's the Discord as well if you want to be part of the Discord. Because, stupid me, I forgot to ask people in the Discord if they have any questions. And, yeah. So, it's just Instagram ones for now, which is just 2 of them from Haley, the legend. That is Haley Taylor. So here we go. So I forgot to answer a question from bloody last week, so I'm putting that in there as well. So her question from then was, if you could live absolutely anywhere, where would it be? Where would it be? If I could live anywhere, I don't know. I'm quite happy with where I am now at the moment, but at the same time, I lived in Leeds for a little bit and I absolutely loved living there. I had a good 4 years living in Leeds. It was awesome. But there are some places that I go to that I really, really like. That I just think, oh, I'd love to fucking live there. One in particular that gets me all the time is Edinburgh. Like, whenever I go to Edinburgh, I absolutely love the place. It's a city. But it's beautiful. It's a fucking beautiful city. It's like a big York. You get not as much as Glasgow, but you get bands that come play there. Because that's a big thing as well for me. Like, I'd like to be near some music venues so I can like go see some bands. Like when I was living in Leeds, I was going to like 2 or 3 gigs a month. Like it was mad. But Edinburgh, like you still get gigs there every so often. It's a beautiful city, absolutely awesome, and, you know, it hasn't got, like, that, you know, it just looks really, really amazing, to be honest. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't look like, you know, it's not like massive buildings or anything like that everywhere. Like, it doesn't look like scruffy or out like that. I just love Edinburgh. That's a place I'd love to live. Berlin, I'd love to live there. I've had a good holiday over there. It was amazing, and yeah, I'd live there. I'd live in Berlin. Where else? Where else could I live? Where else could I live? I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. I'm quite happy where I am now. I'm near my family, not too far from the cities that I like, and Palmos are here as well. Got Palmos. Second question. What is the second one? I've got it here. Would you rather have hands or feet made out of spaghetti? Now, this one is a no-brainer for me. I'd rather have feet made out of spaghetti. I mean, would it still support me standing up? Is a question. Like, even if it doesn't, I'd still rather have spaghetti for feet. Like, you never know. I could be like a really cool silent slitherer with my spaghetti feet. Like, if I have like multiple strands of spaghetti and they're my use of transportation, I could kind of move like a starfish. Like, if you think of like the bottom of a starfish, they got loads of little legs. Like, that could be like my feet. Like, that would be pretty cool. I mean, socks would be a bit of an issue. I'd need some custom made, same as like slippers. It might be a bit of a struggle if I'm going on walks, like hiking or whatever. But having spaghetti for feet means I can't walk at all. I'll just take it anyways, because the thing is, my hands, I think I need my hands more than anything. You know, for playing guitar, that's a major thing that I want to keep doing forever. You know, my hands, I need them for playing games, for high-fiving people. for lifting weights. You know? Yeah, I need my hands. If my hands were made out of spaghetti, how the fuck would I be able to pick up a controller or even, you know, play a chord on a guitar? I just don't think it would be possible. So that is your questions answered. There we go. Oh, I'm thirsty. I'm going to pop open a can. Oh, yes. I hope you heard that. Bit of ASMR. Oh, by the way, if anybody's got any hints, tips, or tricks on a GoPro, I've just got one, right? I've just got one because I'm going away to Rhodes. Oh, God, lovely stuff. This time in 2 weeks, I'll be there soaking up the sunshine. Yes! And, yeah, I want to do a lot of snorkeling while I'm there. So, I've got a GoPro, and I want to get in the fucking sea, have a good swim, take some photos and some videos, like, underwater. Maybe there's some nice fish there. Maybe there's some treasure. Maybe there's a dead body. I've got photographic evidence of it. Hopefully there's no dead bodies. I wouldn't like to see that, really. But, yeah, I've got a GoPro. I'm going to get some stuff off my dad because he's got some, like, spare bits and bobs, like handles and everything, like, stuff for floating around and harnesses and everything. So I'm going to go around his and pick up that and have a little bit of fun with it because I've only played of it, like, indoors, and it looks amazing. Like, it generally does look amazing. Like, I've just played it back on my phone, and, like, it can shoot in 4K, 60 frames, and, like, I took it outside in the back garden, and, like, the colours, like, the colour saturation is absolutely incredible. Like, and the stabilization as well. It's awesome. So, if anyone's got any, like, hints, tips, or tricks on how to use a GoPro, like, for getting, like, the best out of it, like, capture-wise, I'd really appreciate it because it's something I really want to get into. It's awesome. And, yeah, I mean, I don't want to just go underwater and take photos and stuff like that. Like, you know, I want to do some actual video capturing as well. And I might use it as a webcam as well for streaming from now on, which would be great. Also, on the streaming front, just started playing Silent Hill again. And it's a bloody creepy-ass game. From 1999, it is still creepy as hell. I mean, for horror games, like, from the PS1, I always think about Resident Evil, because the Resident Evil games are just absolute masterpieces. They are absolutely incredible. But, like, I think Silent Hill just holds up a certain bleakness about it. Like, it generally feels horrifying. Like, the music is just so intense. And, like, the imagery and everything, like, they absolutely nailed it with that game. So I'm currently playing Silent Hill now as part of spooky season. Hopefully get that done this month. Because, you know, it's going to be shorter than Final Fantasy, isn't it? And it's going to be just doing, like, some, you know, with Final Fantasy, I had to put some long hours into, like, every stream playing that game. But, like, with Silent Hill, like, I know it's a shorter game. I don't have to think about what days are available for me to play it. Like, you know, Silent Hill, I can just put, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours into it and, like, be very, very happy with the progress and stuff. So, yeah, it's Silent Hill, like, the original Silent Hill is the one I haven't finished yet from the franchise. I mean, 2, 3, and 4 I've streamed before. All 3 of them I absolutely love, especially 2. 2 is just, like, for me, one of the greatest horror titles of all time. Like, it's an incredible piece of gaming, and yeah, they brought out some more after 4, which I don't think were great, to be honest. Like, Homecoming was a bit meh, Downpour was atrocious, Book of Memories was an absolute abomination, the PlayStation Vita game, just awful, absolutely awful game. And I think I remember Shattered Memories being pretty good. I had that on the Wii. Yeah, I think I remember that being, like, pretty decent, if memory serves. There's also Silent Hill Origins, though, which I've never played. I'm pretty sure that's out for the PSP and the PS2, if I remember rightly. But I have had a look on eBay before to see how much that game is worth, and it's worth a lot of money. So I won't be playing that anytime soon, unless like I emulate it or anything like that, just to try it out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the latest Silent Hills that will be coming out. There's that Ascension, which I don't know if I'll be into that. But there's a new movie coming out. There's a Silent Hill 2 remake coming out, which we haven't got a date on yet or anything. There's one that's going to be set in Japan, which is a bit weird. How can you set Silent Hill in Japan? Which is, yeah, it's a bit bizarre. And there's a brand new like Silent Hill title, like a new story, which is coming out, which is Ace. So it's good to be looking forward to some new Silent Hill whilst playing some OG stuff. But anyways, I kind of digressed there. What I was meant to say was I've played 2, 3, and 4, finished them, but I haven't ever finished the first one for some reason. I think I might have been just too scared of it when I was little, and that might be the case. But yeah, Silent Hill. I'm going to be playing again on a late night stream. I forgot the date, so bear with me. It's gonna be after I've done a day shift at work, and basically after my last day shift at my job, I tend to like stay up as late as I can just to like get my body clock working for the night shift the next day. So the next stream will be on October the 10th, and it'll be a late one. It may be around 10 o'clock, it may be 11 o'clock, it may even be midnight. Who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna be playing some of that. So if you fancy staying up late, October 10th, and joining in on the horrorness, the spookiness, I'd really appreciate it. It'll be awesome. But if not, totally understand. It's a bloody late night. But if you're someone who's from America or wherever, Australia, someone who's up a lot earlier than that, do tune in. It'll be nice. It'll be a good laugh. There we go. Anyways, I want to talk about some music, as that is what we do on the podcast. I do talk about life a little bit, what I've been up to and all that shit, what games I've been playing and stuff, some daft news here and that. But I do like to talk about music as well, what I've been listening to as of recent, and yeah, and the latest release comes from one of my favourite bands of all time at the moment, Code Orange. Their new album, The Above, is finally out, and I've wanged on about them before on this podcast. I've talked about them when they brought the new singles out for Take Shape, and their new what was it? The Outbreak Festival set was the set of the weekend. They were absolutely incredible, and they are a band that have gone through so much. Like, I first discovered them on their debut album as Code Orange. They were called Code Orange Kids before, and they dropped Kids from the name, and they're now just Code Orange. I've been with them ever since the I Am King era, which back then they were just a hardcore band. Quite a terrifying sounding hardcore album. It's so heavy and so crushing and quite bleak sounding. It's amazing. And I really liked that album when that came out, and then Code Orange Forever, just one of the greatest hardcore albums of all time. It just dropped. It was amazing. It was one of my most listened to albums back then, and it was my album of the year back. I think it was 2017 when it came out, and or was it 2016? I can't remember. No, 2017 it came out, and The Underneath came out in 2000, and I was expecting a big, massive pivot for the band, like to get really big. The change of style, they made an absolute masterpiece of an album. Like, honestly, Underneath by Code Orange is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Like, it's them like really getting into like playing heavy music and mixed it with like electronic elements and all this sort of stuff, and just doing it incredibly well. And like they brought it out when the pandemic hit, which really sucked. Like, I think that really affected them. Like, the album came out as everything just closed down. Like, they had like an album release show planned and everything, so like it was sold out in their hometown in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and lockdown happened. So they streamed this concert in an empty room for an album release show instead. It was over on their Twitch, and like it's now on YouTube. If you want to watch that, it's great. Ever since then, like they didn't start touring that album until the world started opening up again after a couple of years. And yeah, it was great to see them there, that they were gigging again. Like, it was good to see them at Outbreak Festival finally on the Underneath cycle. But you know, at Outbreak they played a song from this new album called The Above, and yeah, I've been really, really anticipating this release, as I do of every Code Orange release now, because they're now one of my favourite bands ever. They're incredible. And The Above is nothing short of that. Like, I generally don't know where to start with this album. Like, for me, this is one of the best albums I've heard all year. It's up there with Underneath. And whether it's as good, if not better than Underneath, I'm not quite sure yet, because this is an album that takes a few listens to get into, and I feel like I still need more. Like, I feel like I've given enough listens to like explain the album and talk about it and everything, and like pick little bits out of it. But you know, I feel the same about like an album like Lateralis by Tool, or The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails. Like, every time I listen to them albums, even though I've listened to them God knows how many times, like I hear something new every time. Like, little nuances and little bits of tricks that they've got within the songs, and like that's what this album is. Like, it's one of those, like, you will get the most out of it if you sit down, put on a good pair of headphones and listen to it. Like, maybe even like flick through the lyrics while you listen to it. Like, I've got the vinyl downstairs. I haven't had time to put it on yet and like read the lyrics along with it, because the vinyl's really, really nice. It comes like a big massive booklet with all the imagery and everything, and all the lyrics like written in there. Like, it's brilliant. So I still need to do that. But yeah, I feel like that's the best way to listen to this. I mean, yeah, you can listen to it in the background if you want, or in the car or something like that, like, or out on a walk, but you got to get the most out of it sitting there listening and taking everything in, because that's what this band is. Like, they can be quite complex, they can be quite dexterous, they're very, very all over the place genre wise, but what they've made is another masterpiece in my opinion. The Above by Code Orange is incredible. Like just the up in like vocal ability as well alone from Jamie Morgan and Reba Mayers. They've done an amazing job vocally. Like, this is the best of vocals I've ever sounded. And Shade, who is the guy who used to just play guitar for Code Orange, but then when Forever came out, he stepped up to doing like synthy stuff, and has done with the Underneath album, and like you could just hear like the improvement that he's done, and like done it again with this album. Like this is like the closest Code Orange I've ever sounded to like Nine Inch Nails. And like, for me, Nine Inch Nails are like, I talked about it with Jake on the podcast before. Shout out Jake. When we did our top 5 favorite bands, I think Nine Inch Nails were they like number 3? I think. Yeah, I think they were. And like, yeah, they're like my third favorite band, I guess. Nine Inch Nails, and they are able to come up with some of the most incredible music ever, whether it be like rock tracks or like electronic tracks or anything like that. And like the electronic stuff that Trent Reznor is able to come up with is absolutely jaw-dropping, and like, this isn't far off from sounding like that. Honestly, this is the closest I've ever sounded to Nine Inch Nails, and the heavy stuff is just fucking damn right nasty as well when they can get to it. And I'll try to go through track by track, see if memory serves what I can remember. A lot of it, like, because there's that much going on, like genre wise, it's mad. And I mean, first track, Never Far Apart, is a really cool sort of menacing, like, throbbing synth led track. A lot of pianos going on, a lot of moody vocals by Jerry Morgan, like that really sort of, like, whispering, sort of deep voice shit. Like, you know, like, that's a shit, like, example, but you know what I mean? And, like, it picks up the heavy towards the end. Like, the guitar tone on this album, I've got to say, the guitar tone is a tone to die for. Like, I think I've got a good guitar tone. Like, I think my guitar tone is pretty damn good. Like, you know, I try to go for, like, a good Hetfield type guitar tone. I'm really proud of the stuff that I can get out of my amp and, like, from my amp sims and stuff. But when I hear this, I'm like, how the fuck have they got that guitar tone? It's just, like, it's so razor sharp and heavy and horrible and brilliant and clear. It's to die for. Like, whenever you hear them chugs coming in with all the songs, like when a heavy breakdown comes in, or like pick scrapes and the guitar solos and everything, the guitars sound amazing. Theatre of Cruelty has got some really, really cool, like, Deftones vibes to it. Like, it's got like a droning sort of like synth towards the beginning, which sounds like it could be something off Diamond Eyes. Like, you can totally imagine this track being sung by Chino Moreno from Deftones, and it's, yeah, Theatre of Cruelty is amazing. I've talked about Take Shape before, featuring Billy Corgan a few episodes ago. That's an incredible track. Just, like, you get more out of the singles when you listen to the album, definitely. The Mask of Sanity Slips, hell of a massive chorus, a bit more of a grunge banger, really. Like, it's awesome. The Mask of Sanity Slips, fucking Mask of Sanity Slips is awesome. It's brilliant, and it carries a riff that goes towards the end of the album as well, which I'll talk about when I get to the end of it. Mirror might be one of the greatest Code Orange tracks ever written. This is one of the more softer ones, featuring Reba Mayers, like, playing acoustic guitar and doing soft vocals, and, like, her vocals just got better over time, definitely. And it's quite lo-fi, this track, quite Radiohead, and it just sounds absolutely beautiful. Like, this is a song that's been stuck in my head, like, for absolutely ages, and the synths are beautiful as well. Like, the sort of, like, harp sounding, and got, like, these sort of lo-fi drums going on in the background. It's an amazing, beautiful track. To then go into an absolute heavy as bollocks track. A Drone Opting Out of the Hive is, like, proper fucking down-tuned, and it carries on that harpy synth from the last track that goes on over the heaviness of this song. And there's sort of, I think this band have had like elements of I don't know if you're familiar with a hip-hop act called Clippin' at all. Clippin' are known as a horrorcore type hip-hop act, and they come up with some really horrifying sounds sometimes, and it kind of reminds me of that, like the bits in between the heavy parts and the drone hopping out of the hive. It's fucking brilliant, and like just the riff alone is amazing. There's a good two song run of some grunge tracks. Like, there's I Fly and Splinter the Soul. I Fly is fronted by Reba Myers, like, that's her sort of grunge track, and then Splinter the Soul is Jamie Morgan's sort of grungy track, and they both complement each other really well as like a 1-2 track type thing. Just both amazing sounding choruses, very, very big sounding, which then after that goes into a song called The Game. Now, The Game was one of the singles that got released first time round, which I was like, yeah, this is a good Code Orange track. Like, it's very fast, it's very aggressive, it's very awesome, and it's very glitchy. Code Orange have always been known for like their glitchy sort of like synthesizer tracks, and But this is what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes songs work better within the context of the album. Like, The Game, when that first kicks in after them sort of mid-paced grungy tracks, it's just, you get that fucking raw from Jamie Graham, like, yeah! There's like these really glitchy sort of guitar harmonies, harmonics that are going on, and like the glitchy synths that are going on in the background to like this is the game, like a prop. It's almost like a real new metal like banger, like the chorus, and then the breakdown towards the end is so glitchy. It's like fucking Windows 98. It's got a blue screen of death or something like that. It's like, it's so well done, and that goes into Grooming My Replacement, which was another single before, and this, like, it's just genius how they've worked this track, like, cause like you can hear flies towards the end of the game, and then they sort of buzz into Grooming My Replacement, and like this intro Grooming My Replacement's got like that sort of dun 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 dun. That's like, it's kind of similar to like Rain and Blood by Slayer, like very tom heavy, and like loads of singular notes happening, but in line with the guitar melody is the buzzing of a fly, right? And the buzzing of a fly matches the key of the guitar tone, so it's like da 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 da, and you can hear the buzzing of the flies going zzz, zzz, zzz. Like, what? Like, this is what I mean. Like, listen to this album with headphones on. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And yeah, like, we're 10 tracks in, right? And there's 4 tracks left. Snapshot is a really cool, fast, like, sort of like a rock pop banger, really. Snapshot. It's fronted by Reba Myers and air vocals, and it's got a really cool 80s lead synth line towards the end of the track, like proper, like this is a banger. It's like a really sped up type song. It's amazing. Snapshot is awesome, and there's quite a lot of attitude in Reba's vocals throughout it. I love it. Circle Through. Again, another one of these great grungy tracks is Circle Through, and that is a banger. Also, like, one thing that I love about this album, it just gets better and better as you listen to it. Like, you can just hear the improvement. And one of my favourite tracks in this album, second to last, is But a Dream. And this is a massive sounding song. This should be on the fucking radio. This should be on the radio without a shadow of a doubt. It's still got that gnarly, heavy guitar tone in it, and the chorus is just absolutely to die for. Like, yeah, they say nothing but a dream. Like, the vocal melody, like I said before, like, their vocals have just improved so much. Like, Reba Myers could, like, proper wail now. Like, she has got such a good voice. And the end track, The Above, which, again, another incredible song. Like, this is a fantastic ending track, very intense. This is very Nine Inch Nails. It's very synth-led, and when I mentioned about a riff in The Mask of Sanity Slips that continues to one of the songs, it comes back into play in The Above. And I love it when bands do that. They like pinch little bits from other songs and put them in others, like, without trying to sound repetitive in any shape or form. The Above is such a good ending. Like, it's a really moody piece of music, and the thing I love about this song, like, when it ends on a bunch of feedback, and the feedback turns into this drone sound, which is the drone sound at the beginning of the I Am King album from 2014. It's unbelievable. Like, the thought that's gone into this album and everything, the imagery, the lot, taking bits from, like, influences from other artists and other albums that they've made, to make it their own. Like, for me, they're just one of the most forward-thinking bands ever in heavy music at the moment. Like, they're incredible live. All the albums are amazing, and they just get better and better all the time. And this might be, like I say, I need more listen to this album because it is a lot to take in. You're not going to get it on the first listen. I don't think you are. Like, even I was a bit like, I need more listens to this. I can't really form an opinion on this yet because there's that much going on. Like, it's just incredible. This album is unbelievable. Like, one of my favorite albums to come out this year from one of my favorite bands. And, you know, if you like hardcore music, like blended in with Nine Inch Nails, with the grunginess of like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Helmet riffs, look no further than this album. Like, for me, Code Orange are just a special band. They're absolutely spectacular. They're incredible. So yeah, Code Orange, fucking awesome. Like, I have to apologize because I would have more albums to talk about, within heavy music. Like, but like, I've literally just been listening to this. There have been some more albums that have came out over the last week. There's World Domination by Blood Command. Like, it's a 20-song album by Blood Command. I have listened to that once. 36 minutes long, 20 songs, and loads of short, snappy, brilliant punk rock and roll songs. That's a great album. Grove Street, speaking of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, band Grove Street used to be called Grove Street Families. When they were called Grove Street Families, they used to write a lot of GTA like themed songs, really good. But they've just dropped the Families. They're now Grove Street. They're just writing music for themselves now. And their debut album, The Path to Righteousness, that's out now. If you like crossover thrash hardcore, they're a great band to get into. I've listened to the album a good once and I loved it. And Common Suffering by Harm's Way. I haven't had a chance to listen to this, just mainly the singles, but Common Suffering by Harm's Way, that's great. Like, proper heavy tuned hardcore for you there. I love the album artwork as well. It looks great. And yeah, it's awesome. It's been an awesome heavy ass week. And yeah, that's gonna do us for today's podcast. Do check it out. Do check out the new Code Orange album. It's called The Above. It's out now. And yeah, I'm trying to work on another podcast with a couple of people. Get something nice out there for you. And also, check out the playlist that I've put on Spotify if you want to listen to some good old GTA tunes, like on your drive to work or at work or whatever you want to do. Tidy up the house, do the dishes, listen to some Grand Theft Auto music. There you go. That's going to do it for today. I will see you next Friday. Next Friday, the new Creeper album comes out, which I'm very, very excited for. I may be able to get a review in. I'm not sure because I'm going to be on holiday when just after it comes out, so I won't be able to. I probably won't be able to give you something straight away, but we'll see. We will see. Thanks everyone for listening. Hope you're having a really great weekend. If you enjoy the podcast, don't forget to like and download on your audio platform. Really helps the channel out. And if you listen to it on YouTube, give the channel a subscribe and like the video. Do anything to sort of help that algorithm out to get people more into the podcast. Or if you just want to just sit and listen to podcasts and do nothing else and listen to me ramble on. I totally get that. I appreciate you, and thanks again. I will see you next Friday. Also, don't forget, there's Discord as well. If you want to pop in the Discord and have a chat with us all, you can do that. And also, there is Instagram, Mastodon92. Links in the description again if you want to follow, send in some questions or whatever for the next week's podcast. It's all just a daft laugh, this is. This is all just a daft laugh. Never thought I'd get 16 episodes of a podcast. I thought I'd get bored after 3 episodes, but here we are. And yeah, take care, everyone. Much love. I will see you next week. Goodbye. Oh, don't forget, Silent Hill, Tuesday the 10th. I'm going to be streaming that at a late night. So do be there.